results of the French papers with our press reviewer, Elena Casas. Thanks for being with us, Elena. So what are the French papers making of Greece's shock referendum decision?
Hello, Rebecca. They're teaching us some Greek this morning. Chaos here on the front page of Libération. You probably don't need me to tell you what that means. Inside, the editorial says, in the worst possible context, at the worst possible time, with the worst possible consequences for all of us, Papandreou is asking his people the only question that really needs asking. Are the people of Europe actually willing to be submitted to all of these austerity measures? They say for months now, governments elected by other people at best, and at the worst, international institutions that nobody elected have been telling the Greeks exactly what they should be doing with their economy, and it's time now to ask the people.
But of course, if they say no, his political future is on the line. So they back him in this paper, deciding to call the vote, and is that echoed elsewhere?
Well, the business paper La Tribune, if we have a look at their front page, has got a very similar one. They've even gone with the same Greek angle. They've got crash on their front page, which actually means fall in Greek, if you're not too up on that language. Now, inside, they've got a similar editorial saying that the paper itself finds it shocking that more national populations have not been consulted about recent developments in the EU, developing the EU and moving into this bailout. They say here in France, not even Parliament was consulted about this latest bailout mechanism, so it's only natural and normal that Papandreou should ask the people to vote.
Time for democracy to make a comeback, but not all the papers agree with that, do they?
No, Le Canard Enchaîné, the French weekly satirical paper, has got "We've been Papandreou'd" as a headline. They say the Greeks have led Europe up the garden path. They've been offered a 55 billion discount on their debt, as you know, and they say, if the bankers has made an error in your favour like that in Monopoly, you keep playing, you don't decide to play Russian roulette instead. But that's what Papandreou has gone for. We've got him here spinning a roulette wheel on that front page, and they say that he has only his own political future at heart and not that of the euro or indeed the world economy in general. They say he's playing his last card to try and get a mandate from the Greek people that would keep him in power, and because of course he's got demonstrators in the streets calling for his resignation, but they say he's just not thinking about Europe as a whole.
But he is trying to clear up a mess that his predecessors made. However, that's not the only paper attacking the embattled Greek Prime Minister, is it?
No, Le Figaro also accuses him of selfishness. They've got Papandreou, the man putting the euro in danger, on their front page, and their editorial, again, is very harsh. They say they should be looking at the wider European picture. They accuse Greece of having entered the euro on false pretences in the first place, of having falsified a lot of their economic documentation 10 years ago. They say Greece has demanded sacrifice after sacrifice from the rest of Europe. They've had all this money, and yet they're still trying to pull the whole project down from the inside because of their own selfishness.
And what do the rest of the papers say that you have there?
Well, over on the tabloid François, they've got a similar angle. They've got the Greek crisis, a story of madmen. And here they say Greece has just been allowed off billions of euros in debt, and this is how they repay the rest of Europe. Le Parisien has got a similar angle. Their headline is the crisis that attacks the whole of Europe. And if we have a look at their cartoon on the inside, they've got Greece as a Trojan horse, again accusing them of having misled the rest of Europe, with Merkel and Sarkozy standing next to them. They're not let off criticism, though, by the paper. Sarkozy saying to Merkel, "I can't remember who let them into the euro." The answer being, of course, that it was France and Germany, even though they might not be too keen on the idea now. And over here at Le Monde, they've got another cartoon which maybe is a little bit more sympathetic towards those Greek voters. It's letting you know how they might be feeling. Papandreou confronting this confused-looking voter with a referendum paper which says, "Are you for or against turning all of Greek's wine into vinegar?" And then below, "Are you for or against banging yourself repeatedly on the head with a hammer for about 30 years?"
Which is how austerity will feel to them, I guess. That's the idea.
Exactly. Le Monde's reminding us, of course, this is pretty harsh if you're Greek, these measures, and we can't expect them to vote in favour.
So at the same time, France and Germany complaining that they're getting kicked in the teeth, but actually some of the papers pointing out that it was them who let Greece in the first place. So in fact, that they've got to shoulder part of that responsibility.
Exactly. No one comes out well out of this, the paper's saying.
Thank you very much, Elena Casas, for taking us through the front pages of the French papers. Now, a reminder of our top stories here on Live from Paris. Papandreou